From the very first time we started our friendship, stayed up that first night and talked all night long, she has always been happier for me and everything that's ever happened to me.
I love that lyric. The way your play on words is genius.
Space, thank you. It's one I'm proud of as well.
She will be okay.
Good,
she will be okay. I hope she's not mad at me for sharing that detail, but but I wanted to make it clear though that it mattered to her.
Word on the street is that Oprah Winfrey might finally be facing the fall of her empire, and that the dagger came from none other than her best friend Gayle King.
In Oprah's life, everybody is always very flattering and is always very agreeable with things that she says, and sometimes I'll go, that's just not true.
Allegedly, Gayle just dropped a bombshell that could end Oprah's reign as the most untouchable figure in Hollywood.
Gayle King and Nate and that other guy, they were talking about, they showed him beating Cassie and the apology in the whole 9 yards.
So what secrets is Gayle exposing? And why would she betray her ride or die after decades of friendship? Let's find out. When you think of the strongest BFFs in Hollywood, Oprah Winfrey and Gayle King probably top the list. They've been inseparable for decades, weathering all the highs and lows together, showing that nothing can break their bond. Some find their close friendship adorable, while others speculate if there's more to it.
The reason why I think our friendship has worked is because Gayle is happier, not happy, but happier for me.
In 1976, Oprah was working as an anchor at a Baltimore news station when a snowstorm hit. She invited Gayle, who was a production assistant at the station, to stay at her home instead of risking the treacherous 45-minute drive to her own place. Despite not knowing each other well, Oprah was that kind of person even back then. They spent the entire night chatting and got to know each other deeply. When Gayle mentioned she didn't have any clothes with her, Oprah simply said, "You can wear mine." In the early stages of their friendship, Oprah and Gayle bonded over their quirks. In an interview with Oprah magazine, Gayle mentioned that when they met, she felt like she had finally found someone she could relate to, especially since she grew up in an all-white community. They discovered they had the same musical taste too, with Gayle being obsessed with Barry Manilow and Oprah being a fan of Neil Diamond. She said, "It's that whole being the odd girl out thing. We didn't fit into everybody else's perception of what it's like to be a black girl." Oprah's early years were filled with struggles. She was raised by her grandmother, mother, and father, moving between their homes for most of her childhood. Oprah revealed to the Washington Post that she started acting out at a young age because she craved attention and love. She felt neglected because her mother was busy working as a maid. When Oprah finally met Gayle, Gayle filled one of Oprah's biggest voids.
She is the sister everybody would want. She is the friend that everybody deserves.
After discovering her husband, William Bumpus, in bed with another woman, Gayle filed for divorce and began the journey of healing herself while preparing to raise her two children, Kirby and William Jr., as a single parent. When asked by Vanity Fair to name the person she despises the most, Gayle replied that she wasn't a huge fan of the woman she caught with her ex-husband on June 24, 1990 at 9:16 p.m., although she didn't remember the details. Gayle's divorce was finalized in 1993, and as the holidays approached, she faced spending New Year's Eve without her children for the first time. She called Oprah and shared her feelings. Oprah, being the supportive friend she is, wasn't about to let her bestie feel down. Just 4 hours after their phone call, Oprah showed up at Gayle's doorstep with a bag full of groceries, accompanied by Stedman. Stedman then whipped up some spaghetti, and they rang in the new year together, showing the true strength of their friendship and support for each other during tough times. Gayle told People magazine that she was incredibly grateful to have Oprah and Stedman with her during that difficult time, and it's a memory she will cherish forever. Gayle has shown that she will drop everything to be there for Oprah too. Oprah shared with People magazine that one day she was feeling really down because she had been betrayed by someone. When Gayle's heard the disappointment in Oprah's voice during one of their phone calls, Gayle immediately hung up, told her babysitter to watch her children, and hopped on a plane from Connecticut to Oprah's home in Chicago. When Oprah opened the door and saw Gayle on her doorstep, Gayle simply said, "I can't stay, but I just wanted to see your face." After ensuring that Oprah was okay, Gayle drank a glass of water and promptly headed back to the airport to return home to her children. So you can kind of guess how tight their friendship is, because of this strange bond they share. A lot of people have speculated that their relationship might be more than just friendship. Oprah has even given her many lavish gifts, like a fancy house in Manhattan. A lot of this centers around her close friendship with Oprah Winfrey, a connection that has helped shape Gayle's career. Rumors suggest Oprah isn't just a media mogul. More people each day claim she's a gatekeeper in Hollywood, with ties to major figures like Jay-Z, Diddy, and Usher. Some others are saying Gayle's silence on these celebrities' controversies isn't just a coincidence.
So a lot of the celebrity culture that you don't hear saying anything is because they participated to a degree.
Not only this, rumors are swirling that a shadowy network of private investigators is being hired to silence influencers, podcasters, and media personalities from spilling tea on certain A-list celebrities, and the list of names being whispered includes none other than Oprah Winfrey, Gayle King, Tyler Perry, and yes, Diddy. Here's the kicker. These private investigators aren't just doing their regular snooping.
2 private investigators just visited a place I used to live in search of me, and they were coming to ask me whether or not I've been paid to talk about P. Diddy and his connection to other celebrities on my show.
Allegedly, they're going door to door, offering influencers hush money to not publish damaging stories. And if the money doesn't work, people are claiming threats may come into play. Who's behind this covert operation? Fingers are being pointed straight at Diddy, who's been at the center of several scandals lately. The theory? These high-profile figures, Oprah, Gayle, Tyler, might be implicated in some explosive secrets, and someone out there will stop at nothing to keep the truth buried. Whether these stars are actual targets or just guilty by association, the whispers alone are enough to send shockwaves through Hollywood.
But they said not only would they pay me to disclose who I was being paid by, but they would pay me more than whatever I was getting to share the opposite story.
Now remember when R. Kelly's scandal blew up, Gayle didn't hesitate. She sat him down for a brutally honest interview, resulting in one of the most iconic and meme-worthy moments in recent TV history. But when it comes to figures like Diddy or Jay-Z, there's nothing. Why hasn't Gayle gone after them with the same energy? That's the question on everyone's mind.
I am surprised that you agreed to do it. Why are you sitting down with us today?
I'm very tired of all of the lies.
Fans are starting to side-eye Gayle King, wondering if she's picking and choosing her targets, not based on journalistic integrity, but on who she can or can't afford to upset. Case in point, Diddy. Over the years, his name has been tied to some pretty messy allegations, but Gayle, not a peep. No hard-hitting interview, no deep dive into the rumors, nothing. It's almost like she's avoiding the topic altogether. And let's be real, Diddy and Oprah do run in the same elite circles. Could Gayle be dodging stories that might mess with Oprah's high-profile connections? Things get even more sketchy when you look at what just went down on Piers Morgan Uncensored. In a jaw-dropping episode titled, "Diddy Has Tapes on Everyone," Candace Owens versus Mark Lamont Hill, new claims about Diddy's influence shook up the conversation. Candace Owens didn't hold back, basically accusing Diddy of silencing people for years. She even hinted that Hollywood's power players, yes, including Gayle, know way more than they're letting on. And yet, Gayle, who's known for her no-holds-barred interviews, has stayed completely silent. At this point, that silence isn't just awkward, it's starting to look intentional. Owens didn't hold back. She called out how powerful guys like Diddy stay untouchable because they've got dirt on people, secrets, scandals, maybe even tapes. Whether that's real or just a metaphor, the message is clear. No one's messing with Diddy because of what he might spill. And that's where Gayle's pick-and-choose journalism starts looking shady. She built her rep by grilling guys like R. Kelly so hard he practically imploded on camera. But now, when it comes to someone like Diddy, she's nowhere to be found. Where's that same fire she brought for Kelly?
The media and the public at large is shocked by what's happening, but we really are just getting to the beginning of everything.
And it's not just Diddy. The fact that Gayle never pressed figures like Jay-Z, Usher, or even Justin Bieber, all of whom have been wrapped up in rumors or scandals, suggests a larger pattern. What's really going on behind the scenes? Is Gayle simply avoiding topics that would create friction with Oprah's inner circle? Or is there something deeper keeping her quiet? Some fans now speculate that Diddy's influence runs deeper than anyone thought, not just in the music industry, but within the media itself. If Diddy truly has dirt on everyone, could that include media personalities like Gayle?
And yet behind the scenes, everyone knew that this is what he was engaged in. This was an open secret in Hollywood. In fact, when Kanye last year said that he was a Fed and started speaking about some of these allegations, he was simply dismissed as crazy.
This isn't just idle gossip. It's become the foundation for some serious fan speculation. theories are flying online, suggesting that Gayle's reporting is more about protecting relationships than uncovering the truth. Some say her friendship with Oprah is more than just a personal bond. It's a business alliance. If Gayle exposed dirt on the wrong person, it could disrupt Oprah's empire and cost both of them influence in the industry. And in a world where power is everything, staying in the good graces of the elite might be more valuable than any headline.
Every time she made a mention to hip-hop culture, it was something that was wrong with it. And it was something that was on my CD that was the largest debut in hip-hop.
And what's even more suspicious is her being silent on her friend Oprah's secrets as well. Seems like she is protecting her maybe because where she is right now is all because of Oprah. One person wrote, "Gayle knows she's in it." Another one added, "I've been waiting for Gayle the phony to be outed." Social media commentary and theories surrounding the payment disparities and dedication of the cast have likely prompted discussions within the media sphere. Taraji's team or the significant PR machinery associated with The Color Purple might have become aware of the shifting narrative surrounding the film. Consequently, they may have encouraged Taraji to address the matter publicly, leading to her statement on the issue.
Notice how Oprah treats everybody during this press conference. Taraji is first, right? Now look at her eyes. She looks down when she's talking about the movie. She wasn't excited about it. Now,
Oprah's past connections are stirring up some major drama, with critics pointing fingers at her ties to controversial figures like Jeffrey Epstein, Harvey Weinstein, and others. Things really heated up after a 2021 clip of her 2003 interview with Dolly Parton resurfaced, showing Oprah pressing Dolly about her plastic surgery. The clip sparked backlash, with actress Rose McGowan, a #MeToo pioneer, slamming Oprah in a now-deleted tweet. McGowan didn't hold back, accusing Oprah of supporting a sick power structure for personal gain. She pointed to Oprah's ties with Weinstein and her decision to step away from a documentary about Russell Simmons' essay accusers. In her tweet, McGowan wrote, "I wish she were real, but she isn't. From being pals with Weinstein to abandoning Simmons' victims, she's as fake as they come." #Lizard, Oprah's Weinstein connection has been a thorny topic for years. Back in 2018, singer Seal called her out, claiming she turned a blind eye to Weinstein's alleged misconduct. Seal's since-deleted post read, "You'd heard the rumors but had no idea. My bad. When you've been part of the problem for decades, but suddenly they think you're the solution." While Oprah has been a loud advocate for the #MeToo movement, her critics say her past associations tell a different story. To them, her public stance doesn't square with her personal connections, and they're not letting it slide.
And if we make this just about Harvey Weinstein, then we will have lost this moment.
Word on the street is that a lot of big names in Hollywood knew exactly what Harvey Weinstein was up to when it came to how he treated women. Instead of calling him out, some folks allegedly turned a blind eye, or even helped cover it up. And guess what? Oprah Winfrey's name keeps popping up in these conversations, with people claiming she was tight with Weinstein and part of the inner circle that supposedly knew about his shady behavior all along.
When something this major happens, when you have the fallout, 50 women coming forward, that it's a watershed moment.
There was a time, not too long ago, when Oprah Winfrey enjoyed an almost untouchable status among the Black community, an unproblematic interviewer and entertainer responsible for much of our cherished content. However, her image has experienced a noticeable decline in recent times. A quick search of her name on the once revered Twitter platform reveals top tweets delving into what some assume was a questionable relationship with the late Michael Jackson. Further down the feed, numerous users express sentiments along the lines of, "Oprah has always been an awful person," and suggest that she is now facing the consequences she deserves. The shift in public perception reflects a stark contrast to the once widely held admiration for Oprah within the Black community. Additionally, in his Netflix comedy stand-up, Dave Chappelle has also discussed the notion that individuals such as Kevin Hart and Oprah Winfrey might be compromising their values for fame and wealth by aligning themselves with Hollywood's elite. And this is what he said.
"They were in on the whole thing. I felt so wronged. I felt so stupid."
Can you guess what he is trying to say? Maybe Dave is trying to say that people like Oprah have been involved in this heinous game for a very long time, and he feels stupid now, right? Well, this is just a guess, but Dave also said that the public's perception of Hollywood is at odds with reality, and that it is filled with lovable people like Oprah Winfrey. Dave supposedly remarked that once you see their genuine faces, you won't be able to stand them since they are too diabolical to bear. He said, It's the same monster that these Me Too B was trying to tell you about, but they hate the monster for how it F, and I hate that monster for how it eats, but my god man, it's the same monster. These days, Oprah Winfrey is all over the news for the terrible things she's doing in the media business, and Dave is said to have expressed his frustration with the ease with which sugar-coated personalities like Oprah can move around. There have been observations suggesting that Oprah Winfrey may have played a role in signaling Dave's downfall, almost as if she were aware of her actions. Reflecting on the past, it's worth noting that Oprah has faced various controversies. These range from accusations of participating in smear campaigns against her critics and undermining their professional lives to more unsettling allegations involving her purported connection to human tea.
Oprah legitimized the notorious criminal Zhao Tashira, aka John of God, as a miraculous faith healer, one who could cure cancer.
While Oprah Winfrey is often hailed as the queen of all media, there are instances where she may have missed the mark, at least according to Cindy Crawford. The iconic supermodel shared her perspective on their initial encounter during an episode of the Apple TV Plus docu-series, The Supermodels, and seems like she is also not happy with her. So let's get started to know what she has got to say about Oprah. Her first encounter with Oprah Winfrey was markedly different from her later appearance on Oprah's Masterclass in 2013. During that interview, Cindy Crawford opened up about the impact of her appearance on her self-perception. According to Crawford, as reported by ABC News, she felt judged based on her looks, prompting her to take a proactive stance in representing herself as more than just a physical presence. I felt judged by the way that I looked. I think it set me on a course to represent myself as someone who has a brain, she said. Before her 2013 Masterclass episode with Oprah Winfrey, Crawford engaged in introspection, reevaluating how others perceived her. Despite making 10 appearances on Oprah before that, Crawford's recollection of her introduction to The Oprah Winfrey Show wasn't exactly warm and fuzzy, especially when viewed with hindsight. The mother of two shed new light on the episode, contemplating how Winfrey's actions might be interpreted in today's culture. From Crawford's perspective, it appears that there may be unresolved issues between her and Winfrey that need addressing.
Show us why you're worthy of being here. In the moment, I didn't recognize it, only when I look back at it and I was like, oh my gosh, that was so not okay.
In the pilot episode of The Supermodels, Cindy Crawford reflected on the first time she appeared on The Oprah Winfrey Show. Crawford was just 20 years old when she and her manager John Casablancas appeared on The Oprah Winfrey Show for the first time in 1986. Interestingly, it was not only Crawford who was learning the ropes. Winfrey's show had just been syndicated in September of that year. Winfrey directed many of her questions to Crawford's manager, asking him via Today, "So did you have to G her? Did she always have this body?" Winfrey then addresses Crawford and asks the model to stand up so that everyone can see her. Crawford commented on this particular Oprah segment in the Supermodels episode, "I was like the chattel or a child, like be seen and not heard when you look at it through today's eyes." When Oprah's like, "Stand up and show me your body, show us why you're worthy of being here," the former supermodel found the interview distressing, expressing, "I was so traumatized, I really felt I was not seen as a person who had a voice in her own destiny," as reported by the Los Angeles Times. Crawford admitted that she didn't fully grasp the extent of it at the time, but with age, she came to realize how inappropriate the situation was. Following Crawford's public comments, Oprah Winfrey appeared to respond by taking down the interview from YouTube. Cindy Crawford publicly confronted Oprah Winfrey over her handling of a 1986 interview, and nearly 4 decades later, social media users shared their varied opinions. Even Oprah Winfrey's close friend Gayle King commented on the situation, despite not having seen the interview. King expressed surprise and a slight disappointment, saying, "I'm surprised and a little disappointed, because I know Cindy's been on her show many times and it has always been a pleasant experience. So I would hate to think that something that happened years ago could have bothered her. It's not Oprah's thing to humiliate or make anybody feel badly." King also added that, to her knowledge, Winfrey and Crawford's relationship was still in good standing. With these new allegations swirling, the question isn't just about who's pulling the strings, it's about whether Oprah's empire can survive her own best friend flipping the script. The cracks are showing, and Gayle's voice might just be the one that brings it all crashing down.